For today's Targets in Focus, I'm joined by Frankfurt-based Senior FX Strategist Antje Praefcke from Commerzbank. Hi Antje, what kind of range are you now expecting from the euro-dollar during the next year?
During the next year, we expect the euro to lose some ground against the US dollar, basically because we think that this problem around Greece, around how to rescue Greece, and maybe the risk of contagion on other peripheral countries like Italy and Spain will continue to weigh on the euro. Even if we find a solution, and even if at the end of the month Merkel and Sarkozy come up with a good long-term solution, nevertheless we still have the problem that let's say the fiscally stronger countries will have to pay and to support the fiscally weaker countries. So this is a factor that is likely to continue to weigh on the euro, even if we find long-term solutions. So that's why we see the euro against the US dollar under pressure.
How about the euro yen? You're forecasting the same level of 102 by the end of Q4 and Q1 for 2012. Why is that, and what about looking even further forward?
Well, for the moment, as I just said, we still have the problem of the Eurozone in the market. So overall, this uncertainty and risk aversion will continue to remain quite high in the market, volatilities as well. We may always see, in case of bad news, another spike in risk aversion and spike in risk in volatilities. This means that so-called safe haven currencies will remain under upside pressure, and the Japanese yen, due to its liquidity, due to its importance in the Asian region, is basically considered a safe haven as well. So this means that from the one hand side, the euro will be under pressure due to the Eurozone problems, and on the other hand, in a more, let's say, overall and global environment, this high risk aversion and uncertainty, which will likely remain in the market, will favor the yen as a safe haven currency. That's why at the moment we still expect the euro to remain under pressure against the yen, at least until the end of the year. In the longer term, towards the end of next year, we think that the rate differential should again play a certain role, and that once it becomes clear that although the Eurozone will have problems, the very low rates in Japan will start to weigh again a little bit on the yen, but that's further out in the future, and that's going to be at the end of next year only starting.
And finally, let's quickly discuss the dollar-Swiss franc. How are you predicting this pair to perform from now to, say, at this time next year?
Well, we know that the Swiss franc is quite fixed now against the euro, so basically dollar Swiss will retrace the moves we see in the US dollar. So it's more dollar story in the dollar Swiss pair. Now, as I said before, since risk aversion will continue to remain quite high over the next couple of weeks and months, we think that the US dollar as another safe haven will remain bid against the Swiss franc, and that the Swiss franc will not be able to appreciate much against the US dollar, although it's considered a safe haven as well. But due to the fixed rate against the euro, as I said before, it's going to always play on the dollar Swiss, and then the US dollar as another safe haven will gain ground against the Swissy. But it's rather be quite limited gains.
Thank you very much, Antje. It was great to have you on DukascopyTV again. Tomorrow's Targets in Focus will be with Jeff Kendrick, Head of European FX Strategy at Nomura. So make sure you tune back in for that. Goodbye for now.